So the book of Ecclesiastes. So Ecclesiastes is part of the wisdom collection. Now the wisdom collection is Proverbs, Job, Ecclesiastes, and the Ecclesiastes stands out in the Bible. It's probably one of the hardest books in the Bible to spell, and but it also asks the question, without God, what meaning is there in life? Its author is believed to have been, traditionally it used to be believed to be Solomon, but really it's just identified as being a king of Jerusalem, somebody who was a descendant of David. When was it written? Well, we don't really know, because it's down to whoever you believe wrote it. So if it was written during the time of Solomon, that's when it was. If it was written at the time of Hezekiah, that's when it was. But probably Hezekiah compiled all the book together and made all the thoughts. The truth is, we don't know. And as the writer of Ecclesiastes might say, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that we've got this book in our Bible right now. And whether you are a Christian or not, you probably know the text of Ecclesiastes, certainly some of the things very, very well. Lots of the things in Ecclesiastes has inspired English idioms. So if you've ever said there's nothing new under the sun, or there's a fly in the ointment, or from dust to dust, or there's a time for everything, or eat, drink and be happy, or there are two are better than one, or maybe you remember the good old days, or being in the right place at the right time, then you are quoting Ecclesiastes. Maybe you've heard in church people talk about casting your bread into the water and you shall find it after many days, or remembering your Creator in the days of your youth, or setting eternity on the hearts of men. All of these are taken directly or indirectly out of the book of Ecclesiastes. But what is the message of the book? Well, the author uses a character to speak. Like Bowie, Beyonce or Bono before, the author uses an alter ego character to deliver his message. The advantage being that this alter ego character, the teacher, can say things without contradicting what Solomon or whoever it was who wrote it has already said. Now the book starts with this phrase. The teacher says this phrase, and it's repeated in different forms 38 times throughout the book. And it's this: meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Or at least that's what it says in the NIV translation. Now, and that phrase, meaningless, everything is meaningless, used to put me off reading Ecclesiastes. But what I didn't realise is the actual translation isn't meaningless. The Hebrew word there is the word hevel, and it means vapour or smoke. It's there, but it's temporary. It's something that you can't quite grasp. And this is the main message of Ecclesiastes, that everything earthly, even wisdom, has its place, but it won't satisfy your soul. The teacher in chapter 2 sets out an experiment. He says, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do everything that I can to obtain purpose. So he makes pleasure his goal in life. He acquires wealth, success, hard work. He never says no to anything. He even acquires wisdom. But the teacher still describes all of that as hevel, this smoke, this vapour, this thing that's difficult to get hold of. Chapter 3 starts with some famous lines that say there's a time for everything, and concludes with this in verse 22. So I saw that there is nothing better for people than to be happy in their work. That is our lot in life, and no one can bring us back to see what happens after we die. And that really is the theme of Ecclesiastes, and that is enjoy your life. Take this verse from chapter 10 that says, a party gives laughter, wine gives happiness, and money gives everything. And while the teacher finishes his section with saying that death is inevitable and everyone will forget you. People often talk about Ecclesiastes as being a bit of a depressing book, and you can see why. But actually there's a core principle at work in Ecclesiastes, and that is enjoy your life, But remember the fact that your purpose can't come from anything that you have on earth. Because it talks about everything that's under the sun in chapter 1. And then at the end, it brings it all back to saying that finally, fear God, keep his commands, for this is the whole purpose of life. So what's the purpose? So what's the point of the book? That pleasure, working hard, striving for success, money, even love and family, they're all temporary, this hevel. That without God, they are all pursuits that are ultimately meaningless. I want to leave you with one last thought. And that is from Ecclesiastes 11 verse 1. That says, send your grain across the seas, and in time profits will flow back to you. But divide your investments among many places, for you do not know what risks or bad luck might lie ahead. And my challenge for you is, what are you investing in? I'm not just talking about money, but your time, your passion, your resources. How are we spending them? What are we wanting to see flow back into our lives in the years to come? What are we wanting to see happen in the kingdom of God here on earth? How are we spending our resources that we have right now? If you want to see your future, look at what you are sowing now. Galatians tells us that a man reaps what he sows. So what are you sowing in your life right now? This verse tells us, divide your investments among many places, for you do not know what risks bad luck might for you do not know what risks or bad luck might lie ahead. So sow in many areas, sow in love, sow in finance, sow in your time, and we will reap a harvest for the kingdom of God. So, why read Ecclesiastes? Because out of everything in life, just remember that life is a gift that God has given you. Enjoy it. Enjoy it and love God, serve God, and make him the purpose of your life, and enjoy the life that God has given you. That is the book of Ecclesiastes.